end of the sentence at the same time. We're already such a great casting duo. Anyway, we've got our red Terran player. He is
Slayer's GanZI.
Beautiful timing. Beautiful timing.
Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful timing as well for your saying. Beautiful timing. To me, after it's beautiful timing.
I spent a lot of time figuring out when to say that.
I saw you practicing at home. You were like, okay, I'm going to watch this.
I am nuts.
What can you say before the Street
Speaking
Fighter
of beautiful
guy says,
timing.
I am nuts? What can you really say to lead into that, though?
I think I am nuts speaks for itself.
That's right. I am nuts.
Yeah, what you were talking about just a moment ago, though, let's touch back on that. He didn't really control his army very well. The Colossi were actually attacking the barracks instead of the mass of marauders in front of them for a good few seconds of that battle, which if GanZI hadn't lost the previous battle so badly and had more troops there, that could have been a deciding factor because he almost held it off there for a little bit.
Yeah, with a Protoss army, you really do need to babysit the units a lot more than with big armies in the other races, I think. You have to make sure that everything in the back is moving forward, otherwise they will get kind of hung up on the buildings. So didn't really change the outcome of the game, but something that I've noticed a lot when I play Protoss, you really have to pay special attention to. And Nuts as well, although in the heat of the moment, it's easy to forget some of those back units.
Yeah, Nuts' probe going to go back down, ramp number 3, on his way over to the right side of the map, probably. Is going to scout GanZI very, very, very late, is what it seems is going to happen, because he's going to have a Marine out.
Now, Terminus, of course, a map that's very, very large. It's rotationally symmetrical. It's got 3 bases that are really easy to take. A lot of games we do see get to be just 3 base versus 3 base.
Yeah. Now, for those of you that have not joined us since the GSTL, there is actually a second way into the third base now. They changed the map since last season. There's destructible rocks leading down into the third base, so it's a little bit more difficult to get that third base, but still is possible. SCV is going to run in here and see that Nuts is pretty much doing the same thing as last game.
Yep. You will see a pretty much standard opening from Protoss right now. Looks like 2 gas, though, so he knows it's probably not going to be a 4-gate, although sometimes Protoss players will get that gas and then not mine from it. Try to psych you out a little bit.
Yeah, they'll switch it up like that.
Meantime, GanZI putting down a bunker. Back at the base of Nuts, not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, Nuts completely denied his scout, or Nuts' scout was completely denied, rather.
Yeah. Yep.
So, has no idea if there's expansion there or if there's 7 barracks in the main.
I think he can make a pretty safe assumption that there would be a command center there, but you're right. There could just as easily be 7 barracks. Who was that the other day? That was.
Well, I don't know if there'd be actually 7 barracks at this point, but
there was a game the other day where a player went 7 racks.
Off 1 base?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It worked though.
Really? That's just no add-ons, just mass barracks?
Yeah, against Zerg. So not something you really see against Protoss too much. Although it can work. There was a kind of a crazy strategy early in the life of StarCraft 2 where Terran players would actually go 6 barracks, and with mules and SCVs, you could actually support doing constant Marine production out of 6 barracks on 1 base. A lot of people don't realize it. You can do it. You need to cut SCVs after the barracks get built, but beyond then you're going to have plenty, and you can basically just keep attacking. You can kind of even stop making supply depots because you lose enough Marines, but you can reinforce fast enough. Yeah, you reinforce fast enough that it doesn't matter.
Supply blocks, time to attack.
Very cheesy, though, of course. Not something that I would really recommend to players, but kind of fun to do on occasion.
Now, I think GanZI's going to take a pretty good early advantage here. He's just gotten his expansion up, starting to mule it, and actually, just as I say that, Nuts is going to get his expansion as well. Very late, though, he decided to go 3-gate expansion, a very safe build, but GanZI is just kind of outpacing him at this point, getting a couple bunkers up just in case of a push as well. So, despite getting that early second orbital, he's pretty safe, and he's got about a 50% advantage in income on Nuts at this point.
Well, when you expand early like that against Protoss, getting only 1 bunker or no bunkers is basically suicide. It's way, way too easy for Protoss to just move in there and kill it. Trust me, I've had it done to me many, many times.
Yeah, you know, going with 0 bunkers would be pretty nuts.
Yeah, that would be nuts.
That would be pretty nuts. It would not be GanZI, though, because he's got 2 full bunkers, Marauders, a Marauder in each of them, even pulling some SCVs over there just to be safe.
How you want to do it.
And a 3rd bunker behind it. He remembers that first game and does not want to have that situation show up again.
Force fields.
Now, he doesn't know that he's 3-gate expansion at this point. That's why he's being so cautious. He thinks it might be a 4-gate because he sees all this pressure.
Now the SCV is going to see that Tickle Ray from the sentries working on the rocks there, so good SCV placement by GanZI. GanZI really does have very good awareness. That's one thing I've noticed, is that it's really hard to surprise him with anything, it seems like.
Ooh, and he's actually going to try and come out and put some pressure. Yeah, he's going to make sure those rocks don't fall.
Oh boy, look what I see. A Dark Shrine.
Ooh.
That is nuts.
That is pretty nuts. And in keeping with the sort of cheesy style of the first game, going for a DT rush. I guess it's not really a rush, but
yeah, it's just some DTs to kind of harass. And the nice thing is that when you go DTs, that makes it so the Terran is suddenly like, oh, well, I guess I can't push out until I get a Raven. So now GanZI can use those DTs to take a third.
Yeah, no,
that'd be very safe.
Yeah, I was thinking that might be part of why, because with 2 orbitals, he's going to be okay. He's probably going to have scans, especially if he's saving them.
Yeah, you're not planning on killing him with the DTs.
A turret right in amongst those bunkers, actually. So DTs probably aren't going to do anything, coming to think of it. But, yeah, he's probably going to expand off it and use it because it's such a huge map. DTs are good for map control. You can keep them all over the place, make sure there's no extra expansions going down. Yeah,
it's a really nice delaying tactic. Now, even if Nuts sends that Dark Templar into the front and gets it killed right away, just the fact that GanZI is going to see it is going to make all the difference.
Yeah, but actually, if we can see this pylon at the south right of the main base of GanZI, it's warping in exactly, okay, it's just to the right of this army. There it is. It's warping in exactly the right spot where it can get a DT. It could sneak a DT into that corner if he can get vision of it. I don't know how he's planning on getting vision.
Does he have hallucination?
He's got a robo. He's getting an observer.
All right, so that would work
that
as well.
observer is rallied into the main base, so he's going to be able to warp DTs right into the main, avoid those 4 bunkers and turret and SCVs.
This could actually do.
This could actually do some decent damage.
Wow, Nuts is actually much more intelligent than we originally suspected from that first game. Playing really, really well.
There's the observer. It's going to sneak up to that pylon.
Oh,
3 DTs. Warping in, going straight to the mineral line.
Splitting away to make GanZI use more scans. I like it. Going after the add-on on the starport right away. Excellent choice from Nuts right now.
Wow, actually
taken out.
Taking out some SCVs, and actually the other one snuck around. I don't think he's used a scan yet.
Probably wants to save it. Wants to make sure he can get at least one of the DTs, but these Dark Templars doing a lot more damage than I really originally anticipated. Supply depot's going down as well. The first DT does die. How many scans does he have?
He has almost one.
Oh boy.
He's going to get one in just a few seconds here.
Now if GanZI can stay safe and stay away from those turrets, he can do a lot of damage. That DT is going to go down. Oh boy.
Wow. DT walking within range of that turret for a moment. That was, you know, that was a little interesting by Nuts. He, he's still got one alive in there. He actually didn't do a very good job of targeting things in that attack. One of his DTs killed off the refinery at the Natural.
He did get the add-on on the starport. That does help.
That's true.
The big thing is kind of like we talked about earlier, where we want to talk about the psychological effect that DT is having against Terran players. Because now, literally, GanZI cannot attack until he has a Raven. He can't do it. He's going to lose too much to DTs out in the middle of the map.
Yeah. He didn't lose too many SCVs there, though, is the thing. He lost some. I didn't see exactly how many, because actually...
I hear a drop going on.
Oh.
There it is. Not doing a whole lot, getting cleaned up pretty quickly. Again, GanZI trying to stick with the Slayer's Terran style. Going drop play. Zealot Charge is being upgraded right now by Nuts. And that DT just kind of chilling out. Gonna send home a postcard from the Terran base. Wish you were here, because then we could kill the Terran base.
Yeah.
That dropship going to pass right above that DT. You know, I didn't realize that DTs had 2 models until recently. Looks like GanZI is going to move out. Taking down that pylon.
Yeah, they kind of, they can either have the single sword, or they can have the, or I guess it's probably a Psi blade,
like
a warp blade.
Arm sword.
Sometimes their warp blades are like a scythe type model.
Yep.
Kind of like, you know, either Darth Vader or Darth Maul. You can take your pick between those two. And GanZI stimming up into the main.
Well,
for no particular reason. There's a warp prism there.
Well, it's good for cardio.
Yeah, he just decided his units needed a big run and not many hit points. There is a warp prism there that he might have spotted, but...
I think that's probably it. I can't think of any other reason why he would have stimmed his Marines and Marauders like that. And, you know, there's not a whole lot of medevacs, just mostly Vikings being produced right now for GanZI.
There's that sneaky DT. No add-ons for you, GanZI. He should probably go over and repair that if he realizes what's going on. There's those units running in again.
Here we go. Is he going to get it? It's getting so low, but not going to be enough. Ooh. Nice response there by GanZI.
How did he see that? Is there a turret there?
I think he did have a turret within range.
And
I don't know
GanZI
if there's a scan.
actually scanning after the Dark Templar died by a couple seconds.
Just to make sure, I guess.
So a little bit sloppy there by GanZI, stimming when he doesn't need to, scanning when he doesn't need to. He's holding his own. He's doing pretty well against Nuts, who refuses to take a third base, despite having all this pressure and map control.
Wow. It almost seemed like the vision from the scan happened before the scan actually came down. That was kind of an interesting effect there.
Maybe, yeah. Oh, maybe it was just a glitch of the animation. You're right.
Could be a little bit, yeah.
That might have been what happened.
These do happen once in a while. So in the meantime, Nuts using this exactly like a Protoss player should. He's getting his Colossi. He's getting upgrades right now. Took a third base exactly like we said he should. So Nuts playing extremely well. And you know, that's the thing about Code A, is there's so many really, really good StarCraft 2 players out there in Korea and the rest of the world that we just simply haven't seen play yet.
Now, this is kind of interesting. I've been keeping an eye on the Harvester count because GanZI was relatively low on the Harvesters earlier. But GanZI is caught up, basically. It used to be like 40 to 57. Nuts hasn't made a probe in like a couple years, whereas GanZI is caught up back up to 57 Harvesters. They're tied in that respect. Plus, the Mules is giving GanZI a little bit of an advantage there. So Nuts he was basically kind of really trying to put pressure on with those DTs, really trying to macro up, but not really looking at the long game.
Now, interestingly enough, GanZI has that third, like you said, but not really making a whole lot of use of it. So,
yeah, he's
transferring some drones now at least.
His saturation has been a little bit off in general this game.
Yeah, he is a newer player. Again, this is his first televised match ever that I know of, anyway. So,
GanZI?
Oh no, not GanZI.
Yeah, Nuts.
Yeah. So he may be a little bit nervous too. Now he does still have some DTs out on the map that can do a little bit of harassment. No Raven yet from GanZI. I think he's going to just rely on scans. You can do that as well.
He does have 3 orbitals.
Yeah.
And he's actually got 4 scans in the bank right now.
Oh, okay. So
which is good because I think I just spotted some DTs warping in somewhere.
Yeah, there's one moving around that part of the map. They're doing some controlling, taking out the observer as well.
There we go. One DT is a little bit of a coward, taking a trek off to the right side of the map.
Oh, I was worried for the Automaton 2000 for a second there. Didn't know how close he came to death.
He had no idea.
Now,
that'd be kind of fun if Automaton's detected. Wouldn't do anything, but it'd be kind of fun.
That would be horrible.
I'll bet the tasteless bot and the Artosis bot have detection.
I bet they do. They may also have the ability that Reapers have to jump up cliffs.
Yes. They just
the
don't choose to
ability
use it.
figure other things out. Now GanZI taking a 4th base as well. Some more DTs being taken down. And I really like the play here by GanZI because instead of attacking... Oh no, goodbye factory. Again, instead of attacking when he doesn't really have what he needs to take out this army, he's just going to take a 4th. He's just going to try to produce a lot of production buildings, be able to re-macro very, very quickly if the army does end up fighting the Protoss army head-on.
I am really surprised by the lack of Raven at this point because you're right, he kind of... You can depend on scans, but he has now spent 4, 5, 6 scans on random DTs in the middle of the map. That is a lot of money that he spent when probably more than it would have cost to just get a Raven.
Yeah, I mean, with that money, he could have produced more barracks. It looks like we do have Ghosts on the way, though. That'll be nice. He can also EMP the Dark Templars, of course, or use it for the sentries, too. Now, both players letting their money get kind of high, actually.
Well, they're both maxed, actually. I was just wondering about that myself.
Yeah, yeah.
They're both at 199 supply. Either of them could make a Harvester, and that's pretty much it. And both posturing on the map. We might see a bit of a battle here, though. Stalker's blinking in to try and pick some stuff off, then running back. He needs to make sure those Zealots can engage in the battle, though.
Oh, taking out the pylon as more DTs tried to warp in there. This battle could be big. Some Marines splitting off from the other group. They may be going after that 4th base of Nuts and GanZI. Still playing kind of cautiously right now. It looks like Nuts will lose his 4th. I don't think the army can get there. He's really got no way to reinforce. Maybe some DTs force a scan at least. Nope, the pylon does go down. This base is going to be a wash.
Indeed. There's a lot of Vikings in there for GanZI, so he's actually, even though there are, let me count, 6 Colossi right now, 2 of those will only get 1 shot off.
Yeah.
They're going to get taken out so quickly. So it's probably going to be, I feel like the first moments of the battle will almost decide it, because it'll come down to the micro if he can get the Colossus back, he can protect against the Vikings. He scans, runs in with the Vikings, trying to get a snipe on the Colossus, but instead gets a few Viking sniped by Blinkstalkers.
Yeah, this map is actually really good for Vikings to be able to find a position around a ledge or something to get shots off on the Colossi. But you need to be very, very careful. Vikings don't have a lot of hit points. They're not very durable units. So if you're not careful, you could lose them very, very quickly.
Those Marines that killed the 4th just ran into the main, but it doesn't matter. There's a huge battle going in the middle of the map. Vikings going to work on this Colossus, take down 1 instantly. They're not even getting that many hits in the back. Finally going forward, only 2 left.
And here we go. Again, more Bio coming through the force fields. Does he have the sentries to maintain this? It looks like he doesn't. Bio falling back for just a second, but if he gets the concave, that's going to work out very, very well. And Nuts having to fall back.
I like the addition of the charge lots as reinforcements in that battle.
Oh,
I think that was a good choice, but
absolutely.
Both players not really wanting to press the issue, and that's going to work out better for GanZI since he's got the 4th and he's already taken out Nuts' 4th. So
GanZI is ahead in supply right now too. 147. No, never mind. They're tied up at 151. Stalkers blinking ahead to take out some of the Bio. GanZI needs to be so careful right now. Protoss have all the upgrades that really make those gateway units deadly.
Yeah, now it's interesting. GanZI has to make Vikings because he lost some in that battle. And he has to make Vikings for those Colossi. So he's not making medevacs. And as a result, most of his units are still injured from that previous battle because he only has 1 in the air.
Yeah. Now he is getting 3-3 for the Bio as well, though.
Yeah.
Oh, those Marines not going to go anywhere. Ouch.
I hear a DT running around somewhere. I don't know where.
Yeah, DT just killed a couple Marines. Okay. That's what that was. They were just kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, yes.
Kind of terrifying, though, if you're just like jogging with your friend through Terminus and all of a sudden your friend like falls in 2 pieces. And then you do. And you wonder, where was the medevac?
It'd be a good place to jog. Actually, no, I guess it wouldn't. Too much metal. Probably be hard on your joints.
Yeah, you'd want to have shoes with kind of very soft soles if you were going to jog on this type of terrain, I think.
Now, this is a bit of a Code A move, if you will. Nuts has all of his units on 1 hotkey. And as a result, every single time his Stalkers have been in front of his Zealots and not been getting optimal attacks in there. They take a moment to get in there and attack because they've been in the back, just chilling underneath the Colossi. If he can keep those in front with using different hotkeys for different units, he might be able to come out a little bit better in these battles.
Yep, that's absolutely right. Really don't see that a whole lot, having all your units on 1 hotkey like that. He may like control click something when the fight actually starts, but
maybe.
I don't know. I don't like it. I usually like to have, when I play Protoss, I like to have my Zealots and Sentries on 2, my Stalkers on 3, and all my really important units like Colossi, things like that on 1. That's my setup for playing Protoss.
Sounds good.
You know, that does it. Okay.
I haven't played Protoss in a while. I don't remember what kind of setup I used to have.
Mole trap approved.
That's right. I like this extra. You can see it just there on the left. An extra planetary fortress just for defense. Keep units from running by the side.
Yeah, the defensive planetary, not something that we've really seen a whole lot in StarCraft 2 yet. Although some players are starting to get it more often. When you are at one of these games where you're max, you don't have a lot to spend on. You know, why not? Why not build a bunch of planetary fortresses? It's going to make you that much harder to break. And what does Protoss really have that can do the equivalent? You know, they can build a lot of cannons, but, you know, DT getting very brave. He's like, I can take this whole army on. Guess I not. Guess he can't.
Now, GanZI, it's interesting. He's actually kind of realizing the nature of this game, that it might turn into a drawn-out positional battle. And it might come out to, you know, just starving bases and what have you.
More defensive planetary fortresses.
So he's actually getting building armor to go with his planetary fortresses.
Yeah, not a bad idea. This is so cool seeing Protoss players and Terran players get to the point in the game where you can start to see those really deep late game strategies. We don't get to see a whole lot of games like this. Looks like a bit of a drop coming in. No, he's actually throwing away his SCVs. This is not a mistake. This is actually to free up supply.
Yeah.
We're probably going to see him start to produce a lot more command centers. 2 in the production queue right now.
Everything's stimming. Oh.
Here comes the army. Oh, but he does turn around.
Oh, man. It is going to take forever for those 2 medevacs, only 2 medevacs to heal up. He just stemmed
overtime.
1, 2, almost 60 Marauders. Actually, I can use a counting station. He just stemmed 59 Marauders. Look at that, guys.
You're very close. Wow. Not bad.
For not an attack. So that was actually pretty bad.
You were the type of guy that like always won those, get so many jelly beans in the jars.
What I would do is I would like count the rows, approximately how tall it was, and I would estimate how much there was on one
One
row.
of those people.
Yeah.
Approaching very
I don't remember actually ever winning any of those contests. A little bit of a drop coming into the third of Nuts. Doesn't even matter. Nothing's there.
More SCVs. MMA. No, MMA. That was before. GanZI deciding to throw away a lot of SCVs, but he doesn't need them anymore. How many SCVs does he have right now?
He is down to 31 SCVs.
All right, he really only needs.
He's only mining this 4th base with the planetary. He's getting another base up, but he's got a few orbitals. In fact, he should probably plant down a couple more orbitals just for scans and mules at this point.
Now probes coming out as well. They're going to go. Actually, is he going to run all the probes? Okay. Yep. I don't know if you can really do that as easily with Protoss as you can with Terran.
Yeah.
But there is another drop going down. Only 1 Marauder, it looks like, taking out some probes pretty quickly. But if it doesn't get cleaned up, that Marauder could do a lot of damage. He's already up to 5 kills. Oh, jumping up in the medevac just in time to die.
Went down in the blink of an eye. Or a blink of several stalkers, rather.
So clever.
Look at this. Those Marauders are still only half healed.
Yeah.
Those 2 medevacs working overtime and not even getting paid extra for it. Here's a battle, though. This time the Zealots in front doing a lot of damage. Force field's going down, blocking some in, but then blocking the Zealots out. He's kiting back. The Vikings doing so much damage. They're going to take out all of those Colossi.
This is really good for GanZI.
And he is going to force the Protoss army back even farther, but those force fields keeping most of his army back. The last Vikings.
Oh, Stimmy again. Those units are so low right now. 1 Storm would take them all out, but Storm has not been researched. Colossi going down. 2 more being added, though.
And with only those 2 medevacs, these units are so damaged that those 3 Colossi could easily clean up if they get within range, but he's falling back to the planetary. No SCVs there to repair that planetary, actually.
Nope, that planetary, the one next to it, is not even going to finish. GanZI need to be careful. Another blink coming in right now, and he's going to be able to pick off these bio units so quickly. GanZI really with the lack of medevacs, and we might see our first upset of Code A.
Those Marauders actually getting some kills on those Colossi. Kills 2 the Colossi. The 3rd one is almost dead. Kill it, kill it.
Oh, he doesn't get it.
The Marauders on move command for some reason missed their chance to kill the 4 hit point Colossus.
The supply still even, 61 to 62 right now. This is such a great game. This is actually one of the best TVPs I've seen in a long time.
This is totally epic. And remember, the series is at 1-1. The winner of this game will advance to the round of 16 and have a chance of getting to the up and down matches. The loser of this match will have to go through the entire Code B tournament to qualify again if they want to participate in the GSL. Yeah. So a lot is riding on this extremely, extremely close match right now.
To these players, this is the biggest day of their career. Who's going to advance? It looks like another drop at the main. Coming in for Slayers, GanZI's going to go to work on the Robo Bay. That's going to go down. No more Colossi. The Dark Templar wishes he had anti-air. But maybe next patch.
Wow. Now it's interesting, they'd both taken out each other's bases, and they'd both, taken out each other's probes so much because they were suiciding probes and harvesters, etc.
Yeah, the income.
That they didn't have much money to reproduce.
Not really, no.
After that big battle, they're both chilling at 90 supply right now, which is, normally you'd expect this late in the game with 5 bases. Protoss, yeah, warping a bunch of stuff, but no, he's only got the 1 base fully mining, just getting some probes.
I gotta say, I think GanZI is in a little bit better position right now. He's gonna be able to land, call down a ton of mules, get his economy going again really, really fast. And at this point, I think he's gonna be able to outproduce Nuts, unless Nuts finds some sort of really great way to come in and cause damage. That SCV, of course, not living too long.
They're both about even in economy right now because of those mules. Now GanZI is almost mined out. This fourth base of his is almost mined out, and actually the DT finds his new 5th base. He drops down a couple mules. The DT says...
At the 2 o'clock position. Looks like that DT that you were talking about.
Yeah, DT's going to kill off those mules. So there goes the theory of that DT helping out.
And there's
Marauders attacking the bottom, though.
Down at the bottom at the 6 o'clock. There it is. Going after the Nexus. They're going to be able to take that out very, very quickly.
And Nexus goes down.
Oh, those Stalkers not blinking in at the right time. This is actually huge for GanZI. Any base he can deny is going to get him that much farther ahead in a somewhat crazy game.
And it looks like that medevac will actually not escape.
Marauder dropping off just in time to fire the last of his rockets before going down.
Now he actually does need to get something over to the right side. This one DT cannot be permitted to it's just patrolling back and forth between those 3 right side bases just to spot when he lands again. He knows it's going to land again somewhere.
Nuts is playing so intelligently, definitely not crazy like his ID would suggest.
He is playing deliciously like his older ID Peanut Cookie would suggest, though.
Oh, was it Peanut Cookie? I thought it was Peanut Cracker.
Yeah, I've seen it both in different places, so
hard to tell.
It's probably just different translations of the same word.
Could be. Peanut butter cookies are delicious, actually.
They are. Especially if there's some kind of chocolate involved.
Yeah, of course. Chocolate and peanut butter.
Chocolate.
Go together so well.
Dark brown, like the color of the armor of those Marauders.
Wow. That was a bit of a reach.
To associate it back to the game somehow. This orbital is actually going down to take the bottom right base. The Stalkers are there just in case there's a medevac, but they do not see the orbital. He might actually be able to sneak in. Nope, never mind.
Oh, there we go. Nut is really on top of everything. You know, his ID says Nut, but the guy says, I am Nuts.
Yeah. What?
So, the ID just says Nut, N-U-T-T. But the Street Fighter guy says, I am Nuts.
Well, sometimes they have different IDs than their actual... Their BattleNet account is different than their ID. For instance, MMA, he's actually Slayer's M. Yeah. But he needed 3 characters, because BattleNet has to have 3 characters for your ID, so he put in MMA.
That's right. And does that actually stand for mixed martial arts? I've heard it does, but
I would guess not, but I haven't actually asked anyone who knows.
Maybe we'll have to ask him after the series, possibly. Yeah. We'll see. We'll get back to you on that one.
It's okay, because he won his match, apparently, in Korean culture. It is rude to go and talk to a player who's lost, because you don't want to embarrass them, I guess. So if a player has won, then you can possibly talk to them, but if they've lost, it's a little bit inappropriate to go and see how they're doing.
Yeah, the idea is to kind of give them some time to sort of cool down after the match. So that does make sense. But and if you were to come up and talk to a player who hit the GSL that did loss, I don't think they'd hit you in the face or anything like that.
I think this is the closest TVP ever, I just realized, because they've been even in supply constantly. They're still even in supply at 130 something.
Yeah, and we are at probably about the 30-minute mark in this game. I can't see the clock on my screen.
Yes, the clock is actually hidden on our screen.
It's cut off. We just began a new minute. Oh, 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Wow. Thank you, Jay, our producer, filling us in. So, wow, this is one of the longer TVPs we've seen in a long time as well. I'm Nuts. Adding on some more Colossi to that army again, building up ever so slowly.
Yeah, 5 Colossus in there now, and not a Marine to be found, actually. All Marauders and Vikings at this point. Very, very strong composition. And so the Marauders can deal a lot of damage. And I think more importantly, Marauders can take damage from those Colossi a lot better.
Yeah, they have so many hit points. Now, one thing GanZI's going to need to do, I think, is get a lot more medevacs, He still only has
he still only has 2
medevacs.
medevacs. And I guess it's because he wants to keep... at this point, with only 150 supply, I think it might be good for him to get a couple more medevacs.
Here we go. The forces for I'm Nuts getting a little bit closer, starting to work on that mineral line. The bio for GanZI trying to move into position here.
A little bit dangerous getting those Colossi out in front. The Vikings could snipe in there, but...
Yeah.
And it looks like he might be positioning for an attack. He's got a 20 supply lead.
These are looking good for I'm Nuts. Here he comes.
Zealots again stuck behind, but they're close enough they can get into the battle. Doing massive damage to these Marauders, which are not kiting at all. The Vikings are taking out the Colossus before they even get in close enough to do damage, though. So the Colossus doing very little damage, and the Marauders may win the day with those Vikings landing.
I think he's got enough Zealots with the Stalkers. Maybe it's going to be so close. 4 units warping in.
Oh my God.
Is it going to be enough Zealots?
4 Radovacs now healing those Marauders up enough to get away, and the concussive shells saving the game for GanZI.
So GanZI going to lose his command center, but at the same time...
And Mule's dropping. This could be a sign of GG!
Oh.
GanZI at the end of one of the most epic Protoss versus Terrans ever.
Wow.
Finally, with no income and his last orbital out in the field getting sniped, leaves the game, GGing an intense series, an epic series, and I Am Nuts is going on to the round of 16.
Moltrap, I am going nuts for that game. That was absolutely crazy. Wow, we are only 3 matches into the season right now. Code A is amazing.
It really is.
Code A
really
is so much better than it was like 3 seasons ago. The level of skill that we're seeing from our players, so good.
Definitely living up to expectations at this point. I am really, really excited.
Absolutely.
That was so cool.
Man, wow.
Man. And it was so close.
Yeah, really.
For so long. That could have gone either way. I think it's interesting that during that whole series, though, most of the time, GanZI was actually losing the battles. He still won positionally in game 1, but I think Nuts actually outplayed him in general. Just thinking back on those battles, even though it was very even, I think he got outplayed more of the time than not.
GanZI started being really aggressive, lots of drops, things like that. And then as the game went on, he started to become a lot less aggressive. And I think he needed to keep up that aggression. Yeah,
that's true.
He needed to stop more bases from mining. If he would have done that, I think he would have had a lot better chance to win the game. But
yeah, he started out doing like MMA, dropping all over the place, back and forth, dropping the third, dropping the main, that kind of thing. And he kind of just, after the pressure was on, after they had a couple engagements in the middle, he kind of gave up on that. It did a little bit, sniped the Robo Bay later on, but wasn't really putting that pressure on as much. He did it some, don't get me wrong, but not as much as he could have.
Yeah.
Given the circumstances.
So Slayers, GanZI, the first of the Slayers players to be knocked out in this tournament. Of course, they have quite a few people in Code A this season, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I think
three
they
or
have
four.
I think they have like 6.
6?
I think so.
It's a lot. Now MVP, I think they have 6, 5 or 6.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yeah. We're going to get to them later. We're going to actually move on to our next match. It's going to be June versus Bomber. Startail Bomber,
and I actually think this is going to be probably one of the better matches. It's going to start right now. Terran versus Terran. Let's get started.